Kamen Rider Zero-One, written by mostly Yuya Takahashi, he's the main writer anyway, has very interesting character dynamics. It's very interesting characters. Their backstories interweave and connect to each other without them having all secretly been, orphans at the same orphanage and having to do with time travel shenanigans. I don't know why FF8 is popping into my mind at this time, but it is. But I almost wonder if you know what? Never mind. This is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about Kamen Rider Zero-One, Episode 22. And I don't know if you remember Yoda, Empire Strikes Back. That is why you fail. I'm wondering, is this why you people like fan fiction? Or, what's it called? Shipping? That is why you ship? Is that what I should have called this episode? I don't know. But, there's interesting characters. There's interesting character dynamics. There's all this great background and setup, and there's these things that you can hold on to and latch on to if you need to. But I'm not sure if the strength of the overall plot or, what's the other thing? I'm supposed to be a writer. I'm supposed to know these things. There's plot, scenario, or not, script. There's a difference between story and plot, and I don't remember what that is at this moment. I'm in kind of a bad place for this, but basically, there's like the stuff that happens in your show, and there's like plot, story, and theme, right? And I don't know what any of them are. Like the plot, I think, is the week to week. Yeah, the week to week things are happening. Stuff's, there's machinations going on in the background. There's, characters that become, Humagears or Raid Risers that need to be fought, and that kind of thing. But Thouser's had this thing, the Zaya dude, Amatsu Gai has had this thing going on for 12 years, at least 12 years, and I would guess almost over 12 years, because he fed all this information to the Ark at that time more than 12 years ago, and he wanted to convince the Ark, or lie to it by selectively, giving it information. He omitted all the positives of humanity, and he just gave it the negative information on humanity, and it determined that Humagears should go wild and murder all the humans, and it'll be better for the planet or peace, or I don't even know. Anyway, like they're bugging the system and they need to be excised. Anyway, all that crap doesn't make any darn sense to me, because we don't have enough background on this guy, and the way that it's slowly being teased out of the show is it's most displeasing to me. I'm not enjoying the ride. I don't get the point of things. Like, he just made an upgrade for Zero-One, and supposedly it was supposed to show how evil Zero-One is, or Humagears are, or the Ark is, because unlike Amatsu Gai, who's augmented by his technology, Aruto is using the Zero-One driver, which can take him over. It leverages the power of AI to make him stronger, faster, smarter, better reflexes for fighting or whatnot. And I guess I just don't get the point. Humans are better than machines. Humans using machines are better than machines at any way at all thinking for themselves. I don't know. I'm definitely not a futurist, but because of my belief in rights and things like that, and my soft heart, like if a robot had full sentience, I would consider we should respect this thing, act as if it has human rights basically. But man, I don't know. At least everything should fall under the non-aggression principle. You don't have the right to aggress against an entity for no reason, unless it's attacking you or whatever, and you're defending yourself, which I just don't get. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about the stuff I did like. He makes this belt that gives Aruto all this arc power, and it's called Metal Cluster Hopper, which I didn't understand at first, but then I saw the Locust Swarm gimmick going on, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick, and I'm gonna spit scripture at you, and I will also find out who wrote and directed this. All right, so this episode was written by Yuya Takahashi, and Teruaki Sugihara was the director for this and the last episode, too. So anyway, prepare yourselves to be blessed. Here we go. From Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the destroyer and the cutter, the great army sent among you. Anyway, isn't that dope? So, if you, yeah, there you go. You've been blessed, and you get to enjoy things a little bit more, maybe, because of the swarming effect, the cutting effect that the, metal cluster of hoppers has on the enemy. And it's funny, I didn't really realize that at first. I had no idea what that was. I thought, metal cluster hopper, like, what are you talking about? But then, as I saw the transformation start happening, I saw the locusts, or the, grasshoppers, I thought, oh, that makes sense. And I think locusts, both scientifically and biblically, grasshoppers and locusts are separate types of creatures, even though they may be cousins. Like, they have a distinct difference to them. Like, I don't think you can eat a grasshopper, but locust you can eat, because like John the Baptist would have eaten, or they say he ate locust and honey. And then, anyway, I won't go into all that. But anyway, I thought that was very cool. That verse was in my head for like the last week or two. I just, glimpsed it somewhere. I can't remember where exactly. But then when I saw the corrupt cop that got, his clothes were all torn up and he had, blood all over him and stuff, because the swarm of locusts, the metal cluster of hoppers, or the cluster of metal hoppers, I guess really is what it would be, went and attacked him. It didn't make sense to me at first exactly what was going on, because there was just this like void in the middle of Zero-One's chest, and then all these things were flying out. But then when I saw him cut, I thought, oh, they're isn't it? That's pretty cool. And I only really bring that up because that's who I am. So it's funny, the little biblical overtones, like the Ark has all these animals on it. The Zaya satellite too has like the mammoth and these like the grasshopper and all these other type of animals in it that are maybe being protected. I don't know. Maybe there's a Noah's Ark joke in the name of the Ark satellite that wants to destroy humanity, and like the rain came down and flooded and killed everybody but 8 people on the planet, according to the biblical narrative. But then there's also Gilgamesh, and there's flood narratives throughout history. So like, was it supposed to be leaning to that? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just frustrated that the message of Zaya is like, people make bad choices when they're mad or scared or stressed. So I'm gonna basically take over this guy's body. I'm gonna put him under all this pressure, and then I'm gonna make him look like a bad guy. I don't know if it's if maybe he's taking a like he's inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and he's saying the true measure of a man is not when everything's great, but when his back's up against the wall and things are bad. Like I'm gonna show you that you can be a bad guy if everything in your life is being orchestrated to be bad. I guess it's kind of like what's that dumb Joker comic? I'm sorry, I haven't read it. I don't like the idea of it. One More Day, no, One More Joke, no. The one where he shoots Barbara. You know what I'm talking about. Killing Joke. Kind of reminds me of that. Like, what is this guy? Like, trying to orchestrate one of those things? Anyway, I don't like it. I think it stinks. The overarching story, I guess, even if the plots can be enjoyable episode to episode. Like, I enjoyed the Corrupt Cop. I like that they, put the system on trial, that the prosecutor's like, hey man, I almost, falsely convicted you because I wanted to. And, I just wanted to convict you. And once I was locked in on that, there was no letting up. And I think it's good because, criminal justice for... Anyway, felt like there was something else I wanted to address, but I don't remember what it was. I'm going to be respectful of your time. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I just decided to, like, try to cut loose on this episode and, like, not be so serious, because I'm not even sure. I'm going to continue with weekly coverage of stuff past Zero-One, because I'm trying to be a writer. I'm trying to do all these other things. So anyway, I'll give you my outro spiel, and then if I have anything else to say after that, I'll go ahead and say it. Although I want to know, are you similarly frustrated with like the story in the background going on with Amatsu Gai, and do you think what he's doing makes sense? Do you think it's is it, well, 1, is it enjoyable? 2, does it make sense to you? And 3, did you find Aruto's joke at the end there funny? Because I kind of did, honestly. Zaya to cry. MJ Loves Toku can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Check out mjmunoz.com for my other review series and other writer casts, where I sample Kamen Riders from Kuga to Zio. Kingdom Hearts Queen of Sorrows, my Mobile Fighter G Gundam show. Going Ultra, where I talk about Ultraman, and Swinging Through Comics, which is where I talk about Marvel Comics. I'm deep in the 40s and 60s, going back and forth between Captain America and then like Fantastic Four and some of the other stuff going on at that time. The like non-title books, like I'm going to get into Journey into Mystery at some point, Astonishing Tales, which does contain Thor and Ant-Man stories. That's where they started, and then they got their own books eventually. So doing that, it's really enjoyable. I also reviewed Beast Heart Strikers, so you should go check that out. Check out that comic. It's on Comixology. It's done by, I only remember Joe Hunter, the name of the artist. He also worked on Radical Guardian Skater X. There were 2 issues of that, also available on Comixology. So check that out. I gave it a light roasting, but overall I did like it. I did enjoy it, and I think you should check it out if you like tokusatsu and comics, or if you just want to check out a tokusatsu comic. I think that's one to do with. I mean, unless you don't want to read, the Kamen Rider comic page, no worry. But like, if you want something done by a fan today with some modern sensibilities, Sentai vibe, that kind of thing, check that out. I also have writing projects there on mgmunoz.com, and you can check those out. I'm hoping to write more soon-ish, like now, this week. This week, more writing. Anyway, if you love what I do and want to support me, my Coffee and Redbubble accounts have you covered. Relevant links below. If you had a good time, like and share, and leave a comment, because I asked some questions, and I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me see. Here we go. Subscribe, ring that bell to stay current on weekly Zero-One reviews. And remember, you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero. So, I mean, does Zaya pushing and pushing and pushing Aruto not remind you of a kid, like, getting in another kid's face and, spitting on them, or, I don't know, like, tooting in their face or something, making fun of them for, like, a prolonged period of time, and then once the other kid who's being, I'm just going to say oppressed, hits or strikes out, lashes out, the other kid starts crying and, I can't believe you did that. I don't know. I've got kids, man, so that's what it reminds me of. That actually just happened the other day. Actually, I'm going to tell a little story. We were at the store, and they were racing each other back and forth, and one of them cheated. The older one cheated, and then when the younger one turned around the exact same, or cheated in a slightly similar way, no less than 3 minutes after the older one had cheated, the older one was so heartbroken and so hurt that their sibling would do that to them. And I laughed inwardly. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Goodbye, folks. Remember, take care of yourselves and each other.